I, a lustful canary, accidentally bound myself to a save load backtracking system. The big shot kisses me. I reload. He kisses me until my lips go numb. The big shot hugs me. I reload. He hugged me until his arms cramped. One night, the big shot was just about to light a postcoital cigarette when I, still unsatisfied, was ready to reload and enjoy it once more. The big shot laughed in exasperation. Are you fucking treating me like a perpetual motion machine? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. I kept canary. Not for money. Not for wealth. Simply lustful. Lusting after Garth's charm. I fell in love with him at first sight. Back then. To become this big shot's golden canary. I fought my way through countless obstacles. Punching models and kicking influencers. When I finally succeeded in climbing to the top, Garth's secretary respectfully handed me a sugar daddy contract. MS. Right. Mr. Garth says $5 million a month. Does that work for you? I was overjoyed. All right. Then I took out my phone and transferred $5 million to the secretary's bank card on the spot, saying sincerely, "The money has been transferred. When can I meet Garth?" The secretary looked at me, then at the extra $5 million, a blank expression. In the end, the $5 million was returned, and I additionally received another $5 million as an allowance. From then on, I became Garth's caged canary. I began living a bizarre life of accompanying him to eat, drink, and sleep, becoming Garth's canary for who knows how many days. One morning I was still lazing in bed. My sleeping posture was a complete mess. Meanwhile, my sugar daddy had already gotten up, done cardio, eaten breakfast, forced the workers into an early meeting, and was about to head out to start a new day. Devilishly disciplined. After getting dressed, Garth lightly swatted my butt with a tie. His voice deep and pleasant. "Hilda, get up and tie this for me." My previously drowsy, half-asleep expression instantly changed. My mind urgently called out to the system. "System, quick, reload the save." A mechanical voice that didn't belong to any human echoed in my mind. The system was puzzled. "Host, your sugar daddy didn't kiss or hug you. What's there to enjoy by reloading the save?" I blushed coyly. He whipped my butt with his tie, and this feeling was kinda pleasurable. Damn it. How come I never realized I had latent masochistic tendencies before? Neither did I. The system helplessly reloaded the save for me. Ding. Save reloaded successfully. Rewind to half a minute ago. The next second, Garth's tie lashed against my butt again. "Hilda, get up and tie my tie for me." Eep. I really like it. Continue loading the save. The system's mouth twitches. Time rewinds again to half a minute earlier. Garth's tie once again lashes against my butt. "Hilda, get up and tie my tie for me." Ah, damn satisfying. I screamed internally. Reload the save file 100 times. System, please. It's fine. My karma. The system remained silent, mechanically reloading the save file. For a moment, the room was filled with Garth playfully spanking me with his tie. A suggestive, rhythmic sound. Happiness. I'm really happy. Perhaps the heavens saw how much I coveted Garth's body. So on the very first day I became his canary. A system was bound to me. A save load system. As the name suggests, I can continuously reload and backtrack. Except for myself. Every other objective thing, time, place, or person, would rewind and start over. Who understands the feeling of kissing Garth until your lips go numb? Or the joy of cuddling and hugging until your arms cramp? Don't ask why. If my body could handle it, I'd have secretly manipulated him into becoming a 7 times a night kind of guy. After my butt got whipped by Garth's tie until it could prop up 3 soda bottles, I finally stopped reloading saves, cheerfully preparing to lift my butt and stand up. But in the excitement, I accidentally let out a long, loud fart, completely out of character. I froze in embarrassment. Garth raised an eyebrow slightly. The system considerately asked, "Host, would you like to reload the save?" Reload. We must reload. My image in front of him has always been perfect. This stain absolutely cannot exist. Ding. Reload successful. This time, I got up with my butt clenched, kneeling by the bed to tie the man's tie. Everything looked peaceful and serene. "Honey, let me tie your tie for you." Garth subtly rubbed his slightly numb arm, a fleeting smile flashing in his eyes. He lowered his head and kissed me as I was intently tying his tie. "Hilda, are you coming to the company with me today?" I shook my head. "Not today, dear. Going to sleep. I had to reload the game 3 times last night. So naturally, I need to sleep a bit more to recharge my energy." Seeing that I was still a bit sluggish, Garth didn't insist. "Then you rest at home. I'll come back early tonight to keep you company. I'll be waiting for you." I acted cute and coquettish. Garth looked at me. He probably really likes my pure yet seductive persona, cupping my face and leaning down to kiss me again. So well behaved. On the surface, I appeared shy and enjoying it, but in my mind, I was frantically poking at the system that was covering its eyes and refusing to watch. System, replay this French kiss 10 times for me later. The system has a way with words. Aren't you afraid your lips will get chapped from all that kissing? Please use your mouth sparingly. A prophetic statement. My lips did indeed get chapped from all the kissing. They're both numb and itchy. Surprisingly, Garth's mouth was also slightly swollen and red, with a small wound on his lower lip from when I lost control and bit him during a previous save file. It gave his otherwise noble and handsome face an unconventional allure. While I was drawn to him, I also felt a bit puzzled. System, is there a bug? Why does it feel like every time we kiss after loading a save file, Garth's mouth never returns to normal? The system, which usually responds instantly, remained silent this time, assuming it went to fix this long-standing bug. I didn't press further. Anyway, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. After reloading the save file once more, I felt unusually generous and let Garth go. "Honey, see you tonight." "Yeah." He touched my face and suddenly asked me for something. "Hilda, do you have any extra lip balm?" "Yes." "Why do you ask?" Garth looked at me with a half smile. "I don't know why, but my mouth feels a bit sore. Probably from internal heat. Look, it's even a little chapped." As the guilty party, I gave an awkward laugh and hastily dug out a lip balm for him. The persona of a considerate canary occasionally flashes through. Holding a pink lip balm, Garth was picked up by the secretary. I breathed a sigh of relief, abandoning the pure and seductive canary persona she displayed in front of him. She sprawled boldly on the bed, crossing her legs with one ankle resting on the other knee, just as she was blissfully replaying those dozen or so kisses in her mind. Her phone rang. "It's from my dad's secretary." I lazily picked up. "Jay, didn't I tell you not to call me unless it's urgent? I'm busy chasing men." Jay replied respectfully. "Miss, I know, but there's something rather urgent right now." "What is it?" "The day after tomorrow, the Wright family and the Thompson family are jointly opening their commercial port. The president and his wife are too busy traveling to return, so they'd like you to attend the pre-opening celebration ceremony on their behalf." Just be the mascot. That's all. I rolled over and yawned. If even I need to attend the meeting, it's probably unnecessary to hold it. So I won't go. Besides, I never show my face in public. Let my dad and mom handle it themselves. Moreover, my true identity Garth still doesn't know. He's definitely going to be at such an event. And if I show up, won't he find out? Jay pondered. Mr. Wright said if you don't go, he wouldn't mind helping you expose yourself in front of your future son-in-law ahead of time. What a ruthless father. I reluctantly agreed. Got it. I'll go. After hanging up, I racked my brains trying to figure out how to avoid exposure during the ceremony, but with the save/load system as a safeguard. If I get recognized, I'll immediately use the save/load to escape. Perfect. After eating and drinking my fill, I started catching up on sleep. I slept straight through until dark. Half asleep, I seemed to hear the sound of running water coming from the bathroom. Soon, someone lay down beside me. Drawn by that crisp, pleasant scent, I drowsily snuggled closer, nuzzling and hugging. You're back. Yeah. Garth pulled me into his arms, his brow slightly furrowed. Hilda, have you been sleeping until now without eating? I'm not hungry. A perfect night. A well-rested canary. A domineering CEO with 8-pack abs and a waist like a greyhound. Just covering up with a blanket and chatting would be downright sinful. My voice is soft and sweet, deliberately seductive. Honey, rather than eating, I'd prefer to taste something else. Garth S. Adams' apple bobbed restlessly. He propped himself up on one elbow beside my head, his other large hand moving up from my waist to brush past my lips almost casually. His voice husky. Then eat well. Garth was clearly aroused and breathing heavily. Yet, as usual, he only bullied me once, showing remarkable restraint, as if deliberately conserving energy. Me, a lustful and gluttonous girl. How could I give up so easily? Gasping for breath, he immediately called out to the system in his mind. System, force a hard reload. But that night, after just 2 save reloads, I was so exhausted I started suspecting I'd single-handedly built the Egyptian pyramids overnight. Yet the spiritual world is remarkably rich. Sleep well tonight, and dare to do it again tomorrow. Contentedly stroking Garth's 8-pack abs and nearly drifting off to sleep, he suddenly got up and started putting on his clothes. His face was cold, as if he had made up his mind about something. Half asleep, I mumbled, "Where are you going?" "Fitness. What are you doing working out so late at night?" Garth turned his back to me, hastily pulling on a shirt. "It's still early. I can't sleep. From now on, I'll go to the gym before bed to burn off some energy, then come back and sleep holding you." TSK. It's not scary when the domineering CEO is handsome, but when he's both handsome and hardworking, that's terrifying. I was filled with deep respect, and all my drowsiness vanished. "Honey, I'll go to the gym with you too. Otherwise, my stamina as a canary can only support 2 or 3 reloads. What a waste." Garth, when will the legendary 7 times a night prowess ever be achievable for me? How can a useless weakling like me with such poor stamina ever sleep soundly? Time to work hard. Time to strive. Garth turned his head somewhat stiffly, his face as green as a stock market crash. "You'd better not go." I had already nimbly jumped out of bed, declaring with righteous indignation, "I have to go. Darling, it's for our future happiness." Garth's usually composed and stern face inexplicably took on a slightly shattered expression. That evening, in the villa's gym, he furiously pumped iron with a cold expression, while I gritted my teeth doing squats. Our intensity rivaled that of Olympic athletes. Both of us, the sugar daddy and the kept bird, had a bright future ahead. The aftermath of overexercising is that I couldn't get out of bed the next day, literally aching all over. Half dead while still alive. Whatever. Restarting 3 times in one night is fine too. I won't push myself too hard. This 20-something beauty needs her rest. Garth looked at me lying on the bed like a dead fish, already resigned, and let out a faint sigh of relief. He bent down and patted my head. Hilda, I have something important to arrange tomorrow, so I'll be back very late tonight. Okay, dear. I'll wait for you to come back before I sleep. Well, if you're bored, he murmured to me in a low voice. His pretty thin lips kept moving, but I couldn't understand. I just wanted to kiss. Perhaps my gaze was too wolfish. Garth gradually fell silent, smiling as he lowered his head to kiss me. His lips were soft and warm. Originally, I wanted to reload the save file to indulge a bit more, but seeing the bite marks I left on his lips yesterday made me hesitate for a moment. After he left, I quickly called the system. System, have you fixed that bug yet? The system slowly replied. What bug? Haven't you noticed? I feel like every time I kiss Garth or do something naughty with him before reloading a save, the physical marks on him never disappear. This isn't a bug in the save reload system, is it? The system remained silent for a long time. When I pressed for answers again, it gave a vague and unclear explanation. Host. This involves system confidentiality, and I cannot disclose it at this time. Then it won't affect me from reloading to eat Garth. Right. This time, the system was resolute. Absolutely no impact. That's fine then, since it doesn't affect anything. I didn't bother being curious about other matters. It's just, something feels a bit off, since I have to attend that ceremony on behalf of my parents tomorrow. I've temporarily set aside any mischievous plans for tonight. Meanwhile, Garth came back exhausted after a long day. He lazily leaned back on the sofa, watching me play with my phone for a while, and even thought about making dinner for me. I rather lecherously yet sympathetically stroked his long legs wrapped in dark suit pants, deciding to fulfill my duty as a canary once. I'm going to take the initiative and cook a meal for my sugar daddy. Garth was pleasantly surprised, eagerly looking forward to my grand feast, but his joy seemed to have come a bit too soon. Amidst the chaos that nearly blew up his kitchen, I managed to clatter together 4 dishes and a soup. The 4 dishes were snail rice noodles, spicy instant noodles, stir-fried rice noodles, and spicy hot pot. The soup was a large bowl of bubble tea. State banquet. An absolute state banquet. Could that old Angle abroad ever comprehend such purely artificial, 0 natural delicacies in his lifetime? Even Garth, the privileged one who's always feasted on exotic delicacies, surely hasn't tasted this either. As expected, seeing this table full of dishes, Garth looked somewhat bewildered. Hilda, is this the dinner you've been working on for 2 hours? I nodded shyly. Yes, darling. Try it quickly. Garth graciously picked up his chopsticks, took a bite of the spicy chicken noodles, chewed, got spiced up and took a sip of milk tea, then immediately made a face as if the sweetness was clogging the throat. He swallowed with a stiff neck, then took another bite of the stir-fried rice noodles, chewed, swallowed, got spiced up again. He took another sip of the milk tea. Once again, it was too sweet for him. He didn't take a third sip. Putting down the chopsticks, he patted my head and spoke with a smile. His voice was just a bit hoarse for some reason. From now on, don't do any housework. I'll take care of it. Why? Because I fucking can't bear to see you work so hard. His words were filled with raw emotion. Touched. Eek. as expected of a domineering CEO, always knowing how to cherish his little canary. That night, Garth finished his workout alone and then held me, this useless thing, for a plain and uneventful sleep. The next day, no sooner had he left than my father's secretary Jay rushed over in a frenzy to take me to the venue. For now, I've resumed the Wright family's young lady identity. It still feels quite unfamiliar, rejecting all sorts of high-end styling designs. I directly instructed, just pick a modest dress that covers the flesh. Garth's eyes are too sharp. He even knows where every mole on my body is. Don't go overboard with the makeup, but you'll need to come up with a perfect excuse to keep my face hidden. Got it. I looked at Jay and the stylist with full trust, placing high hopes on them. They exchanged glances and nodded solemnly. So the banquet was held that day. The news that the Wright family's heiress, who never appears in public, unexpectedly got smallpox and had to wear a mask and sunglasses to attend the opening ceremony spread like wildfire. With a constipated expression, I asked Jay and the stylist, "Is this the brilliant idea you two geniuses came up with after racking your brains for so long?" Jay wore an expression begging for praise. "Miss, how is this idea bad? It's actually brilliant. What's so good about it?" Jay spoke eloquently. "You see, first, even if others are curious about the Wright family's only daughter's true appearance, they wouldn't dare probe further for fear of upsetting you due to your illness. Second, without the Wright family's permission, the media wouldn't dare casually spread news about your illness. Third, Mr. Garth is extremely busy. At most, he'd just exchange a few polite words and wouldn't pay much attention to a business partner's daughter. So you wouldn't be exposed. I'm convinced. Makes some sense, but not much. Somehow it also gives off a vibe of being shrewd yet miscalculating. In short, I attended that ceremony wearing a mask, under the sympathetic gazes of others and the condolences from many attending guests. The person in question stated that their mental state was fine. While perfunctorily dealing with this crowd, the noisy gathering suddenly quieted down a bit. I looked up suspiciously. Oh, Garth has arrived. Amidst a crowd of middle-aged executives with beer bellies and receding hairlines, Garth stands out in his dark suit, broad-shouldered, upright, with an aloof demeanor. With that slicked-back hairstyle, he's outrageously handsome. He is now the head of the Thompson family. I can usually sit as equals with people of my father's generation when discussing business, and sometimes even take the seat of honor. So when I first said I wanted to reel him in, my dad was the first to raise his hand in agreement. I asked why. My dad said gloomily, "Because then I can rightfully outrank him and take my turn sitting in the seat of honor." A man's dignity is truly baffling. Garth gave a brief nod to those flattering him before coming straight to me. He looked at me with eyes dark as lacquer. He extended his hand first. "Ms. Wright, it's a pleasure to meet you for the first time. Mr. Garth, the pleasure is mine." I cleared my throat and swiftly switched into my cold young mistress persona, afraid he might notice. I simply shook his hand briefly before preparing to withdraw mine. Garth suddenly spoke up. "Wait a minute." Ha! His gaze fell on my fingers. His tone indifferent. "Ms. Wright, that ring on your hand looks familiar. I believe I gave my girlfriend the only custom-made piece of the same design in the world. What a coincidence." Ha! Girlfriend. Is this how rich people elevate their mistress's status in public? But there's no time to dwell on it. I need to deal with this ring that's about to expose me. I immediately called out to the system in my mind. "System, quick load the save." Ding. Reload successful. The next moment, the scene returned to Garth just appearing outside the noisy crowd. I quickly pulled off the ring. As a result, I was dumbfounded. Because the gown has no pockets. I can't lift my skirt in public to hide things either. Giving it to Jay risks him losing it. Just as Garth's gaze was about to sweep over the crowd toward me. In my panic, I chose to put the ring in my mouth. When the man approached me and extended his hand, I greeted him clearly and articulately. Mr. Garth. A pleasure to meet you. MS. Right. A pleasure to meet you. Garth glanced at my mask. His gaze inexplicable. The system in my mind couldn't help but wonder. Host. Why can you speak clearly even with the ring in your mouth? I felt smug. Practicing by reloading saves 2 or 3 times every night wasn't for nothing. I've trained myself well. The system fell silent for a moment. Strange. Why do I inexplicably feel like I've been run over by a car wheel right across my face? After that, following Jay's plan, Garth only expressed a few words of concern about my pockmarks before asking me nothing further. He stood politely by my side the whole time, following the procedure. The first half of the navigation ceremony went smoothly, until the latter half. Sitting in the audience listening to the long-winded speeches from various dignitaries. Bored out of my mind, I had Jay sneak my phone over to me, planning to kill some time playing Candy Crush. Just as I opened the game, Garth beside me said calmly, MS. Right. What a coincidence. My girlfriend loves playing this game too. My hand paused in its motion. Oops. Forgot about that. Reload save. Starting over. I opened another unfamiliar cooking game right in front of Garth. Garth said this time, MS. Right. What a coincidence. Your phone case is the same as my girlfriend's. I gritted my teeth. Garth, this guy usually pays way too much attention to me. His little canary. Doesn't he? Reload the save. This time, I just put my phone on vibrate and placed it under my butt. I'm not playing anymore. Let's see what he has to say. As a result, I stopped playing, and he started playing instead. Out of the corner of my eye, Garth opened phone and sent a message to the pinned contact. Are you awake yet? Buzz. My phone vibrated twice beneath me. In this relatively quiet area, it was somewhat noticeable, but not too much. I coughed lightly to cover it up, planning to reply to him later. Garth sent another message, and when he saw I wasn't responding, he was about to lock the screen. Just as I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, he paused mid-action and instead opened his phone contacts. He found me. My pupils suddenly constricted. Big fool. What are you trying to do? The moment the phone beneath my butt started vibrating wildly, I frantically called out to the system. Load the save. System. Absolutely cannot let him call me. I'll definitely get exposed. The system complied. Starting over. When Garth was about to call me again, I immediately and very deliberately knocked his phone away while pretending to adjust my hair, then apologized sheepishly. Sorry, Mr. Garth. It's nothing. Garth didn't take it to heart and picked up his phone. He was about to dial again. Load save. The third time, I simply made the excuse that my phone was broken. Mr. Garth, could I borrow your phone? I need to look something up. Of course. Garth handed me his phone politely. Then I took his phone and fiddled with it for a while. When I figured it was about time, I finally returned it to him. Thank you, Mr. Garth. You're welcome. Glad to be of help to MS. Right. Garth turned his head back. Then, he was about to dial my number again. Reload the save. The fourth time. The fifth time. The sixth. Seventh. Eighth. Ninth. 10th time. I even used the ridiculous and explosive excuse of aliens invading Earth and preparing to attack humans who make phone calls to stop him. Yet he still insists on calling me his canary. Such perseverance. Such determination. No wonder he's got strong endurance in certain areas. The man's just a stubborn mule. Damn it. The system asked. Host, do you wish to continue loading the save file? I let out a sigh of utter despair. No more loading. I have another way now. This time, the moment Garth finished dialing, the phone beneath me began vibrating violently. Buzz buzz. Buzz buzz. Buzz buzz. One after another. Without a single break. It's shaking so hard my kidney stones are about to shatter. That's not a sound that can be covered up by coughing. Garth turned his head at the noise. He glanced at my buzzing, oddly noisy backside. MS. Right. Seems like there's some commotion. Someone must be calling you. I explained with a forced smile. It's not a phone. Definitely not a phone. Mr. Garth. You know how it is. Rich folks have their little eccentric hobbies. Playing with some toys and whatnot. I'd really appreciate it if you could keep this between us. Garth, who had already been smiling politely, now curved his lips even more noticeably. He said quite gently, MS. Right. I'll keep it confidential. Please take care of your health and exercise some restraint. I really should thank you. The prime culprit. The opening ceremony concluded. When Jay picked me up, I was in a half-dead state. My face, my lifelong reputation, my innocence as the Wright family's sole heir. Gone. All gone. Now I'm not only pockmarked but also a gluttonous girl who must complete her master's tasks at any time. Love is such a tank. Whoever crashes into it goes into shock. I covered my face and wept bitterly. But not for long. Because my good days are coming. It's been 2 days since I last Garth did anything bad. With my evenings free, I can properly save and enjoy myself to ease the devastating blows suffered during the day. Just thinking about it fills me with joy. The moment Garth's villa came into view, I was intermittently bursting with ambition and rushed straight to the gym, cramming at the last minute. Maybe a workout could earn me an extra save point. When Garth returned and saw me buried in squats, his face instantly changed color. Hilda, why are you working out again? Stop it. I gasped. Honey, I'm striving. Go take a shower and wait for me in the room. No. Garth took off his suit jacket and unbuttoned his shirt. He gritted his teeth and said, I'll work out with you too. So that night, we spent hours grinding at the gym before finally returning to our room. As a result, after the workout, I was completely drained, exhausted to the point of nearly passing out. Garth, on the other hand, was still full of energy. I didn't even need to load a save file. TSK. Seems like my workouts were pointless. He's the one who needs to get fit. Dazed with exhaustion, I leaned in and mumbled something heartfelt to Garth. Honey, you've really got to work out more from now on. What about you? I'll just cheer you on from the sidelines. Good. Garth was satisfied. A subtle expression of relief appeared on his face. It's good that you can let it go. But that night, in my drowsy state, I vaguely saw this sugar daddy remove something called kidney tonic from his shopping cart. After that, I continued to stealthily serve as Garth's canary. Life is blissful, though sometimes I feel a bit dazed. I often feel like I'm not just a kept canary, but more like a girlfriend. After all, what kind of sugar daddy washes his canary's underwear? Whose sugar daddy would get up in the middle of the night just because their canary said they're hungry, throw on some pants, and go make midnight snacks? Whose sugar daddy would be this clingy with their canary, calling 10 times a day just to check in? The world's turned upside down. But then again, maybe Garth is just a genuinely good person. The man I've set my eyes on is definitely not like those other wealthy people who put on a dignified front but play dirty and disgusting games behind the scenes. Or those who are clearly gay but pretend to be straight, deceiving girls' feelings. Not long after, my cousin, who has always been close to me, heard some rumors from my mom and privately messaged me, quite surprised. "Girl, of all people, you're crushing on Garth. He's genuinely known for being ruthless out there. The last company that tried to scheme a single profit point from him has already completed its bankruptcy process." I replied, "I know. That's why I fell for him." Back then, it was my university graduation ceremony. Garth was invited as an outstanding alumnus to give a speech to the graduates. The moment he appeared, everyone couldn't help but admire him and feel their hearts flutter. Me too. He personally performed the tassel ceremony for me. It was a spontaneous decision, and it just happened to be my turn. The president smiled and stepped aside, letting Garth take over. As the tassel on my graduation cap was moved aside, I locked eyes with this young and accomplished CEO. He probably thought I was just an ordinary yet attractive female college student, his gaze polite and restrained. But I fell in love at first sight. The desire to sleep with him instantly became unstoppable. Like 8 horses couldn't hold it back. Later, I asked a group of wealthy second-generation friends to investigate from various angles, and they all said Garth had no one around him, seemingly somewhat indifferent to women. I kind of want to pursue him. I'm afraid I might not be able to win over such an unattainable flower, and end up ruining the big collaboration between our families. So I took an unconventional approach. I decided to hide my identity and become his golden canary, aiming to win him over first. My sister was worried. "Aren't you afraid he'll discover your true identity, feel played, and come after you and the right family for trouble?" "Don't worry, sis. He won't get any chance to learn my real identity. Now that I have the save/load system at my disposal, I'm not the least bit afraid anymore. As soon as he gets suspicious, I'll immediately reload the save to avoid it, steady as it goes. When he falls head over heels in love with me and I've truly won him over, that's when I'll seize the moment to reveal my true identity. Everyone will be happy." A few more days passed. Garth was about to go abroad for a trip. He asked if I wanted to accompany him. I shook my head. We had been inseparable for nearly half a year, just eating, sleeping, and repeating, with little time for personal freedom. So to keep things fresh, I decided not to go with him. Garth didn't insist. After a night of intimacy, he left on his private jet, and I immediately went out to party with friends for a few days. But every night I had to return on time to Garth's villa, because he would call me and chat with me, just like a couple being all lovey-dovey. Knowing friends couldn't resist teasing, I felt a little smug inside. See, Garth is indeed kinda into me. Everything was going according to plan. The ideal is full, but the reality is bony. Soon after, Garth returned to his home country. Half a month apart feels like 3 years. This night certainly couldn't be spent in a bland and uneventful manner. From the moment we entered the foyer, we were already kissing, hugging, and lifting each other up, our lips never parting. We stumbled our way to the bedroom. I took a moment to mentally instruct the system. Dear system, please prepare for World War III, because I'm definitely going to be reloading many times tonight. The system hesitated, as if wanting to say something but holding back. Wanted to say something, but didn't. Just dutifully helped me reload 3 times. Strange. The first time, Garth was still enthusiastically contributing to the common good. The second time, he was calmer. By the third time, he could be described as indifferent, even lighting a post-coital cigarette ahead of time. Her rather languid appearance completely dazzled me. Such beauty. How could I possibly resist? Just as I was about to excitedly proceed with my fourth reload, the system, which usually avoids interference, suddenly spoke up to dissuade me in a roundabout way. Host, perhaps you should exercise some restraint. This isn't very good for your health. Still unsatisfied, I didn't listen. Previously, 3 reloads were enough. But since Garth and I haven't seen each other for half a month, I definitely need to reload a couple more times. Hee hee. The system sighed but complied nonetheless. And so, the fourth reload began. The time and place suddenly jumped back to that moment when Garth and I were lying on the bed, one on top of the other. I was overwhelmed with shyness. Honey, give me a kiss. But contrary to my expectation of an eager response, Garth paused in surprise. Then, he seemed to laugh out of anger. He propped himself up, pinched my cheek with one hand, and uttered words that sent chills down my spine. Hilda, you fucking treat me like a perpetual motion machine, don't you? You're really greedy. I genuinely want to whip your ass with a belt. Although I can't say your behavior is wrong, and I actually quite like it. Could you try to be a bit more reserved? Being this lustful isn't good for your health either. Haven't 3 times been enough? Even if I'm just a workhorse, I still need to catch my breath. I swallowed hard, as if I'd seen a ghost. How? How did you know you could reload the save? So that's what it's called when you can keep starting over. Reloading the save. Garth snorted and said, Anyway, I've known since your first reload. The real kicker is that I remember every time, and the physical changes don't reset. Luckily, I work out after my usual shifts, so I've got enough in stock to handle your cravings. He whispered the last half of the sentence right into my ear. Damn. My face instantly burned bright red. So, I kept making him kiss me over and over, kept having him spank me with his tie, kept cuddling and lifting me up, kept watching him fresh out of the shower, still damp with steam. There was even a time when his frown from accidentally falling had a kind of fragile beauty. Who understands? He was so handsome it was deadly. I also reloaded the save to admire it n times. No wonder. That day Garth just took a simple fall, but ended up scraping his kneecap badly. His face grew increasingly dark. The lips I bit through during one of my save reloads remained damaged in several subsequent reloads. He actually knew all about these things from the start. But why did he keep playing along with my meaningless charade? Bewildered, I asked the system in my mind. System, this is that bug you couldn't explicitly mention, right? Yes. Why? Why can Garth sense the save loading? The system smiled faintly.